Hello everyone! In this video I want to share some thoughts on base building in Renown. It's gonna be more about a general concept instead of a specific base design, because I want to give you a recipe and not the finished meal here, so you can look at the ingredients and decide for yourself how much of each you want, or if you maybe want to add some other things to it. It has to fit your own taste in the end. Alright, so first of all, think of what you expect from a base in Renown. I'd say you can boil it down to two essential attributes: safety and convenience. Safety means I want my base to be strong both against offline and online raids. Convenience includes how much effort it is to collect the resources to build and maintain the base, and how comfortable or practical it is to live in. Now, these 2 points don't always go together very well. If I add lots of honeycomb and doors to my base, for example, that will make it safer, but also more expensive, and will just piss me off to go through all those doors every time. You just can't have maximum safety and maximum convenience at the same time. So when you build a base, you have to find a compromise between these things that fits your preferences and your situation. But enough of that meta-level theory stuff. What do we actually have to build to end up with a good base? What ingredients do we need? Now, there are 5 design elements that I try to include into any base I build. I will try to demonstrate each of them here a little bit with some in-game examples. First of all, funneling. The entrance to a base is always a weak spot. Attackers are likely trying to get in that way, so what you want is a row of doors to slow their attack down and to funnel them into narrow rooms where it doesn't matter as much if they outnumber you. I also make sure I have several ways of attacking them in those doorways by putting grates above or windows on the sides, so I can see and shoot them. The amount of doors depends on personal preference, but I suggest keeping it adequate for how many layers of walls you have. 4 doors have a little more HP than 1 wall of the same tier, so that's usually what I go with. Many people like to build huge mazes, which are very annoying in daily use in my opinion and don't help all that much. If I raid a base that's obviously got lots of room used for doorways, I will probably just use a catapult and go straight to the core, instead of following some complex path with dead ends. Secondly, exits. Having multiple exits that let you leave your base in different directions is not only convenient, it also helps you in a base defense. Ideally, those exits let you skip the majority of your doors and are quick to use. You can achieve this by having a way to jump out of your base from a higher floor, for example. Just make sure you don't take fall damage. Next up, defendability. It really sucks having enemies outside your base, but not being able to see or shoot them. So you always want to make sure you have openings on your base, both in a horizontal and in a vertical way. Besides that, you also need to be able to easily and quickly move around your base without getting stuck on teammates in narrow rooms or being slowed down by overcomplicated pathways. And then we have the gap. I like to include a gap into my base designs that can only be overcome by placing structures. It is basically the same idea as a drawbridge. Except for siege ladders, enemies can't build in your base, so they will have a hard time getting past that gap if you design it right. The most important aspect here is to prevent them from placing siege ladders to overcome that gap. This does of course add a slight inconvenience for you in daily use, but the defensive value easily outweighs that in my opinion, especially when it comes to offline raids. Just keep in mind that you can't place scaffolding while you're under siege. Last one is safe banner. This is a pretty simple point. You want to have as many layers of walls around your banner as possible. It also helps to put it on a higher floor to make it safer from raiders that come through your doorways. Okay, so there you have it, that's my recipe. This is of course based on the current state of the game, which is still in early development. Things might change in the future. But so much for now. I hope this helps you a bit to cook up your own base designs, and if you think I forgot anything or said anything stupid, let me know in the comments.